Hey guys, thank you for watching and listening to the Last Call Entertainment Podcast live here at Blue Boutique in Sugar House at 5 o'clock. Right? 5 o'clock.
Good job!
4:59. Okay, wait. Let's have a moment of silence.
Okay.
No, I'm just kidding.
We're waiting 30
So it's
seconds
5
till
o'clock.
it's 5.
We're gonna be.
We gave Adam enough flack that now he's like, oh, 7 minutes. We got this much time.
I'm usually on time. Not always. Not to point any fingers because there's nobody here.
He's looking at Yada.
There's no one here. There's no one here. Anyway, Yada can make it with us today because he's sick and so he's resting.
Get better.
Is great. Yeah, get better, Yada. I know you don't mind a little crap thrown your way. And we're going to be sharing about sexy tips, things to do. Part 2, things to do with your adult stuff, right?
We actually updated like the whole thing. So we did like more lube tips, more adult tips. So
condom tips, stuff like stimulants and desensitizers.
Yeah,
and stuff like that.
we ran out of time
over
too.
A couple too. We weren't.
Yeah, we did.
Sure.
I noticed that too. I do read your emails, so you know.
Good
You know
job.
that. Right? She's like, I know. But the first thing we want to talk about is lube. We want to talk about lube a little bit.
Yep. So actually, I'll go first with the lube since as a trainer, I'm constantly watching and learning new things with our industry. Yesterday, we had a Wicked training on one of our resources, and Jessica Drake, she's a porn star, very famous porn star, is a representative for Wicked Lubes and Wicked Pictures, and she suggests that that you put your flavored lube in the refrigerator. So we're talking about sensation play and adding that flavor in there. I think it's a phenomenal idea. I was like, oh my goodness.
Yeah, that's a good idea.
And then also just to take that flavored lube, when we're talking about that sensation, sometimes our partners are blindfolded, putting a little lube in your mouth with a flavor and then kissing your partner. So they get that burst of flavor when you're kissing them. Super sexy.
And if you have bad breath, it covers it up too.
Or that as well.
Just brush your teeth.
That's
a great tip.
Well, you should do that too.
Drink more water.
Get a tongue scraper.
I forgot to get some water. Oh well.
And then while we're speaking of Wicked, another one that is a great suggestion that we've kind of always known, we didn't include in the last one. Not sure why, because we love this one. So Wicked Cream, it is a masturbator cream, so it's oil-based, great for a good drag, but it also makes the most amazing moisturizer, like a lotion. So we talked about that, but this one is like top-notch. Like,
it's amazing.
Go into your skin deep, moisturizing. So, and then we said, as obvious as it seems, it needs to be said, when we are talking about lubes, if you go home, you try out a lube, no matter if it's a warming or cooling or just a regular lube in any way, if it's burning you, that's not it, hun. It's not supposed to burn. When they say warm, it truly needs truly means warm, not burning you. So, like, immediate discontinue. Don't use it anymore.
So that's not the lube. That's not the lube for you, basically.
Yeah, it's not the lube for you. And lots of folks will come back and say, "Oh, this water-based lube, and not even a
also, from personal experience, don't use lube right after shaving your.
Yeah, because your pores are still open. You've just taken this layer of your skin off, so you will have a reaction to it just because your body's like, no more.
Yep.
Makes sense. Do you know you have any suggestions for any lube that is really low on the, like, it's a safe, non-itchy, not hypoallergenic?
So hypoallergenic. We have a couple. One by Pure. This is Sensitive Med, and then we also have, again, it's Wicked. It's called Aqua Sensitive.
Yep, and that one is actually the only certified hypoallergenic lube. And then the other one I would suggest is Subtle, because it's all organic and pH balanced.
They all sound kind of like they fit that too.
Yeah, basically, if you have any sensitivities and one of these three are not available to you, you're looking for suggestions, look for something that has a lower ingredients list. But silicone lube, as far as an option for somebody who might not be playing with toys, is hypoallergenic too.
Yep. It's very rare to have a silicone allergy.
Oh, really? Interesting.
So then we talked about also when you're maybe traveling and you don't want for TSA to be like, what's in this bag? Use a clear bag, because they'll just pick it up and go, okay, I know what this is, and move on.
Oh, and then they won't be like, hey, what's this?
And being like, whoa, here's big old Mr. Willie.
Nothing over 4 ounces, right? That still applies. Yeah.
And then we also always carry our little pillow packs. And then here's the thing with the pillow packs. When you're traveling, you don't have to worry about anything getting into them or leaking, because they're completely sealed until you open them. So it's a good way to do it. Or we have the smaller sizes for you to take.
What is a pillow pack for people that might
it's
not know?
Just like a sample size.
In a foil.
Yeah,
mostly
it's like a little pillow.
Sometimes.
That's why they call it that, I assume. You squeeze it, it's like a little pillow.
And this was another one that we missed when we were talking about silicone, because we gave a little ode to silicone. Our last one was you're looking for a way to shine up your PVC, and you don't have like one that is meant to shine it up specifically for PVC clothing. Silicone lube works.
Yep. Same with latex clothing.
That's pretty neat. It absorbs it too, I guess.
Kind of conditions it, but it's not like designed to condition it. But it's going to get rid of it, because a lot of silicone or PVC or latex clothing, when it hits air too much, it's going to start to oxidize and turn white. So it's going to get rid of that
dusty form.
It's going to get rid of that and bring that natural shine out.
Nice.
So, and then we have adult stuff.
Perfect. So I know we talked about some of these last time. So one of the great thing is wands. Like, you have more uses for wands than you do just on your genitals. It's perfect for back massaging. They were actually originally designed to be a back massager.
Okay, wait, let's do that again.
Oh.
Okay, we had some clapping in the background.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Fancy.
Sound effects, see? Sound effects.
Fancy. So you can use that, and bullets are, we talked about this briefly. Bullets are great for pinpointed relief when you need that specific spot, not like an all over.
Got a place just under your shoulder blade, and that wand head is just like getting a little bit too much air in, pushing it out in bigger waves. This is great for pinpoint stimulation.
And then speaking of wands, a great way for some unique stimulations, if you grab a tanga egg and flip it inside out and then put it over the head of that wand, you get different textures on your wand, which is pretty cool.
Most all wands have attachments that either come with it or that you can buy additionally, but these ones would be super custom ones because they have all sorts of different designs. So they're really designed for penis owners as a stroker, but something else that you could do with it. We would recommend with something like the Tinga egg, if you're using that for new stimulation for a vulva owner, that you toss it after use.
Yeah, they're only really meant for one-time use things. And then for beginning vulva owners, clitoral stimulation is a great way to start. To explore that. It can be a little bit more pleasurable. Like, some people aren't sure if they want internal or external or both. One way we recommend for beginner play is clitoral stimulation.
Yeah, it's a really common question we get in our stores. I don't know. I've never had a toy before. I don't know where to begin. Well, like we've talked about, I think like a couple times now on the show, is that most vulva owners are clitorally stimulated. So meaning their orgasms are really driven by that clitoral stimulation. That's where we say that's a good place to start, because it's going to be pleasurable. It's not scary because it's internal. We don't have to have the discussion of, are you looking for something thin? Are you looking for something girthy? Are you looking for something long? Are you looking for something short? So this is going to make it an easier conversation for you, and something that you're going to almost 99% of the time enjoy that too. So that's why we say clitoral is a really good place to start for beginners.
And then for people who like to use dildos, you can also throw like a textured cage over it, a vibrating cock ring to enhance that pleasure as well, which is pretty cool, especially if you're using harnesses.
More customization. Yeah. We that's another common question we get here. I don't know, I've got this, I've got that, I've got this. So we've got, lots of ends of the spectrum coming into the store. So lots of times people are like, oh, I have that, I have this. Well, let's start adding on to your things that you do have. So getting those more unique sensations and building upon those toys and making it, tonight, honey, I want to use it with the little studded guy. So more sensations to customize.
Exactly. And speaking of C-rings, they also make great finger vibes. Like, you can just hold it in your hands and use that for fingers. You can also use it in your hands to give hand stimulation on a penis.
Oh, and so let me just add to that really quick. So just recently, Fun Factory came out with the NOS C-ring. And so we talk about C-rings being great as a secondary off-label use for using it as a finger vibe. But with the NOS, because of the way it's shaped, it would be great, wonderful for a gender-affirming toy for somebody who is transitioning from vulva owning to wanting to have that gender affirmation of the stroking for a penis, because you are able to hold it in your hand and use that for stroking without having to have that surgery for that appendage. So very, very, very cool Fun Factory. We love it.
Cool.
What do you mean by this one?
Oh.
I'm going to have Julie speak of this one because I have not heard this one yet.
So actually, it is something that I saw before my husband even had sent it to me. My husband sent me this little note about, so when bees pollinate flowers, they vibrate, right? So if you're having a hard time getting your flowers pollinated, you can use a vibrator to vibrate the pollen, and there you go. So it not only inside the house use, but also for your garden with your vibrators.
That is really cool.
It's
I did not know that.
Stimulate.
I was looking at
He sent it
toy
to me.
and I was like,
So you're stimulating some flowers.
Yeah, you're stimulating the flowers.
Yeah.
We were doing this last week, and he sent me that offhand, and I was like, oh my God. No, we have to use that because that's a great tip. Yes, you can use your vibrators to pollinate your flowers.
The more you know. I know we briefly touched about this last time. Orgasms. Well, we talked about using vibrators on your lower stomach if you're having period cramps. But another great way to relieve those period cramps is by actually orgasming.
Because it gives you those endorphins and that help relieve pain. So, yeah. Anybody who happens to have a period and you're just having a bad time with those, go grab your vibrator, go grab your melt or your womanizer for sure, because then you don't have to deal with internal and...
Yep, you can just go to town.
Interesting.
This
That's
one
great.
we've always talked about, especially regarding anal toys. We've talked about it previously. Just remember, without a base, without a trace. That will be gone.
So what we mean by that is when we talk about anal things, you have two sphincters that you can you have your internal and external. You can control your internal. You cannot, or external. You can control your external. You can't control your internal. External pushes downward. Internal pushes upwards. And when we start to have an orgasm, we flex against that, right?
Yep.
So we're kind of working two ways, but without a base to stop it, we're going to go in like a vacuum and not out like a leaf blower. So then you're having awkward conversations in the ER about what's in your bum. And then I promise you, if you're using something super weird, they're taking those pictures and posting them on the internet.
And it does happen.
Yeah.
It does happen, yeah.
We've all seen
I know people that have been in the ER because something happened.
Next week so we talk about, we do ongoing training next week that we have our, we're going to touch on anal things so the girls are up to date with that. And I am including a picture of Buzz Lightyear.
Yep.
To infinity and
the button
beyond.
was pressed.
Just so they really know what the deals
Buzz.
are.
Poor Buzz.
So a couple things. if you're using battery-operated toys, you want to make sure to take those batteries out after each use, because if you leave them in there, they can actually corrode and explode inside your toy and ruin them. And they can also start wearing down the hardware because there's that electricity going through it and start ruining the mechanics of the toy.
And let me set the scene for you. Things are hot and heavy. You grab it out of your drawer. You're not thinking anything. You insert that into the vagina, and we've got battery acid that has,
Yep, it's
Ow.
happened.
So, and honestly, I say that in kind of a casual way, but that's the seriousness of it. If you're not taking it out, you have that risk. Because there's lots of times we get into play and we're not thinking about it. Partner doesn't think about it because we've got more rough exterior on our hands, so maybe they don't feel any kind of acid. And then you put it on a very porous vulva.
And then same thing with like the little watch size batteries. Those corrode and expand so much faster than your standard AA or AAA. They do. And then another cool thing is if you actually have storage for your toys, make sure it's actually dry before you stash it. That way it's not growing mildew, mold, anything like that, or catching lint on it. That's never fun.
Yeah, because we think about, we cleaned it afterwards. But in all honesty, you should be cleaning it after and before. We have wipes that make that really, really easy. Like, I don't really suggest the wipes for, like, truly cleaning your toy, but
maybe like
that
a
wipe down before because they're gentle, boom, we're ready to go.
Yep, exactly.
That's better than nothing. Just like a wet one or a wet wipe or anything.
So we have specific toy wipes here, too.
Yep,
No, I know. I mean, but if... Like for
and if
your
you're in a
life,
pinch,
if you're just using if you're in a pinch,
do that too.
Yeah. Well, wet ones, like, I wouldn't recommend them because they're
There's
not
a little alcohol in
designed.
there.
Yeah, they're not really designed for internal use.
Yeah, what I mean is like if you can't wash your hands somewhere,
Yeah.
a wet one works for that.
Clean
Yeah.
up. Yeah.
But you
In a pinch.
should use things specific for the job, of course.
Yeah. When we were talking about backdoor play, we actually suggest using a clitoral penis stimulator. It can actually, that stimulation can help loosen your muscles and help you relax a lot more, so penetration's a little bit easier in the back door.
The way I like to explain this to my guests is I say, the more orgasmic we are, the more relaxed we are, the less we're going, no, don't touch me there. That is my no square.
That's funny. You sing a song.
Yes, TikTok, but unrelated to that. But it's a really great way of explaining it because, like I said, the more relaxed you are, the less we're thinking about clenching up. So when you're orgasmic, those things, your inhibitions lower, so you're able to relax more.
Yeah.
So we do
Absolutely.
say penis stimulation, clitoral stimulation, really, really top two key things when we're talking about first time especially, and then lube, more lube.
Yep. Like, when we do have a saying, when you think you've lubed enough, lube some more. Like, your rectum's not self-lubricating like a vagina is, so it's easy to tear if you're not being careful or having enough lube. Like, you really, 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 really do.
And we told Adam we weren't going to talk about anal.
So it's a surprise for him.
And then here we are.
Talk about anal.
You can tell it's making him uncomfortable.
So condoms.
So we've got a couple more points on adult.
Okay, great. Go on.
So when should you start sizing? It's definitely not even the average size of a peen. Anal training is just like training, and you want to steadily work your way up. And we have great anal training kits for starters that come in 3 different sizes. You don't want to go to that largest one. It's kind of like, I'm going to compare it to stretched ears. You don't want to go to the biggest size first because you're going to tear.
You're definitely not having a good time if you're like, first thing. So, like, we have a lot of partners, and I'm going to say it, it's penis owning partners most of the time, that come in and they're like, I want to try anal with my partner, and they're grabbing the biggest, girthiest thing off the shelf that they could find, and we're like, whoa, no. Did you want a divorce lawyer as well? Because we're not going to start there.
Yeah, it's true. Like, for beginning anal, we recommend something that's 1 to 2 fingers in size to begin with. It's going to make it a lot easier. And many of the toys we carry actually have travel locks, which are pretty cool. So, like, back to your TSA story, you don't want to have that fun, awkward, vibrating moment. Most of our toys come travel locked. So, like, if you purchase a toy through us, we hopefully remember to tell you, but sometimes it gets busy and it slips. But majority of the toys we are carrying now, a lot of the companies are creating travel locks.
So that if it doesn't accidentally get turned on.
Yeah, so then you're not in the my earring just fell out. Amazing. You're not in the line and they're like,
what's that noise?
What's that vibrating noise? Or you have your carry-on and there's a little turbulence and the flight hits the thing.
Exactly.
And now
they make movies with that.
Like, what's that?
Yep. Another cool thing with travel lock toys is after use, actually put them in travel lock. It's going to help your battery life last a lot longer in rechargeable toys.
We lock most all of our toys that have travel locks in our cases when they're sitting in our cases.
Yep, so they don't drain the battery or anything like that. If you have any mobility concerns, please ask us to glove up and let you see the toy to make sure. Please ask us.
Yeah.
Sorry.
Not ask us.
So we can't, if we don't have a test, speaking of testers, if we don't have testers of product, as long as the product's not completely saran wrapped shut, we provide gloves. So we'll wear the gloves and we'll have you wear the gloves so you guys can open up the product and touch it and see like how flexible it is, the vibrations and stuff like that on it as well.
Does it really look like the size of the box? Because we have a couple of them that look smaller than they really are on the box.
And
that one said every single time I have a guest come up with it, I go, before you purchase this, may I open this box for you so you can see the size of it? Because you may get home and be very concerned about this.
Yep. It's true, though. And if you don't have, like we were just talking about, like we're more than happy to open up any packaging that we can. We tape it shut. Like we just have to have you guys wear gloves for them for hygienic purposes.
Yeah.
You don't know where our hands have been, and we don't know where your hands have been.
Yeah, we just want to be safe for everybody. But last week you asked at the end of the week, what's like what was the most important one? And I said talk. And this is another one that for me ranks really up there. Please ask us to take it out of the package, because if we don't have it in the case, we're more than happy to. There, like Shiv said, there's a couple that we can't, things that we can never seal again, and the saran wrapped ones that come from the factory like that, we won't open those ones, unfortunately. But we do our best to keep a really big stock of testers so that you guys can see it. And if we don't have one in that one that we can open, we're going to look for the one that's the closest to it in the case that we can show you.
Well, if we could skip the condoms because we're running out of time. So condoms.
We can skip the condoms.
No, go to condoms.
Go to condoms.
Yeah.
So, that was the last one.
What's the last one? Well, what are these two?
We got these, but that was the last one there.
Oh, it was? Okay, great. Yeah. Let's go.
Perfect.
All right, you want to take it over to condoms?
I can go to condoms. We'll just kind of go quickly through them since we're running out of time. And we talked about this a little bit. Condoms.
We've got some time. I just want to make sure we get through it. That's all. Just so you know, we don't have to rush. Okay. Just so we go through.
You give us rushing anxiety.
I know. That's why I just I realized that.
We're running out of time, and then we're like, anxiety.
Yeah.
So
don't stress. Yeah, you're good, but not too slow.
Come in a variety.
We will talk so.
It's okay. We can talk slow. We can talk slow.
We could just. Okay. Let's get back. So we talked about this before. Condoms come in a bunch of varieties. We suggest really each time you need some, grab one that you haven't tried before as well, so you can really explore what those are for you. We do want to make a big PSA on this. Not all condoms are going to protect you against STIs. So meaning they're protection for pregnancy, but they're not really great protection against getting any kind of an infection. So those are going to be like the lambskins. There's Lilo Hex has some problematic things within it that it's meaning that they're just better for fluid bonded partners too. Yep. But they're still great for, like we said, pregnancy prevention. Just want to be careful about when we're practicing safe sex, which ones you're purchasing, so that you are aware that, hey, this is really going to protect me from pregnancy, not STIs. Another great thing with condoms, these, like we talk about, please don't double dip. So wear a condom, doing anal, pull that off, put another one on. Now you can go from back door to front door without having to take a shower and everybody wash down in between. Just a really easy, quick way. Done. Next one on.
Yep, exactly.
Makes things transition smoother. Doesn't take you too much out of the headspace that you want to be in. And I'm not sure why I put this in condoms, but
we'll just skip it.
Yeah, what was
Don't forget to charge your toys, yo.
Oh, that's okay. Back to that.
For stimulants, we do carry a plethora of different types of stimulants. We carry anal stimulants, clitoral stimulants, penis stimulants, and nipple stimulants. The nip nibblers work really well as a plumping
That's such a cool
balm?
name.
Nip nibblers.
Yeah,
Nip nibblers.
it actually helps plumping. And a cool tip with that, like maybe you have one flavor on, your partner has a different flavor on. It's going to have that kind of buzzing, tingling sensation,
tingles.
Especially during a makeout session. We've also have heard of sex using sexual enhancement pills for workouts.
Pre-workout.
Nice. Yeah, that's true. That's true, actually.
Oxalating the blood, so you're opening up those veins. You're going to get more.
Yeah, it sometimes increases your testosterone, which is linked to sexual arousal.
So, in fact, that's actually something I've learned from my guest. We don't have like a lot of scientific back behind it because most of them are not like on the FDA type of thing. Like almost all of them are not.
Yeah.
But our guests often give us ideas for things that we didn't know before, and that's one of them that they were talking about. I use it before I work out.
Yep, I've heard that with the old Rhino 7s. You guys come in and do that. He's a bodybuilder.
Yeah, I'd hear that about my WOW and Accelerator, So as soon as you said that, I was like, oh, yeah, absolutely. They'd be like, can I use it to work out? I'm like, yeah, you can. Just remember, it might do other stuff, too.
Hydrated. That's our biggest thing. Just stay hydrated. Because you're putting a lot of vitamins and health supplements into your body, and so you just want to stay hydrated, period.
Yep, exactly. And then speaking of stimulants for the penis and clitoris, never put a whole package on your bits. Trust me, you
regret.
Too much.
Much regret.
Like our ice on the gel, you just want to go a little bit and then add as you go if you feel like you need more. But you would think, oh, it's just this tiny thing. It must be a whole use thing. Unless that's a lube, fine, use the whole lube. That's not. Yeah. But when you use that entire packet of stimulation, you may feel
instant regret.
Yeah, that's way too much. And for like a personal time story, did once, and I was like, oh my God, I'm having an allergic reaction to this. I may need to go to the hospital.
Oh, crap.
And then I read it, and I was like, oh, no, that's exactly what it's supposed to be doing. It's just really intense because I used the whole thing. Don't do that. Just a little bit goes a long way, and then add as you would like.
Read the directions, right?
And then
commonly we don't. Like if you did that with, what was that called?
People
what's the energy drink again that we had last week?
Red Bulls.
Monsters.
Oh, Red Dawn.
Red Dawn, yeah.
Red Dawn, yeah. You definitely want to read the directions on that because you might just think it's a whole thing.
Yeah.
And it's not.
And
then you will go to the hospital.
Like 2 caps. It's like 2 caps,
You're speaking.
And so speaking of like the directions, like we actually recommend just a pea-sized amount for the gels, and if it's the on original, the oils, just 2 droplets. That is all you need. And if you feel like you need some more after a period of time, go ahead and reapply. Just not the whole thing.
Great. So
that's
we can talk.
Another one, by the way, that you want to have prepared before you get into the bedroom, because most of them are really difficult to open. So have a little pair of scissors or have it already cut open before you go into your session to play, so that you're not like, I can't get this open.
Yep, exactly.
We can talk about desensitizers now.
Perfect.
Great.
Yeah.
So desensitizers.
This one's really quick because most of these we kind of went over the last week. So we talked a little bit about this before. You always, always, always must make sure that if you're using a desensitizer, meaning you're taking away sensation, that you want to make sure that's dry before playing with partner, because then you're going to transfer to partner and partner is not going to be happy about it.
Nope.
Then also a time when you want to ease into adding, right? Because you don't want to go like, I didn't read the directions like we were talking about.
Yeah.
I put 35 pumps of this desensitizer on, and now I don't feel anything at all.
Personal story, my husband, not 35 pounds, but sprayed a little bit too much.
Yeah, and that's not fun for the person
Nobody
using it, right?
Yeah.
So, again, for most
What's going
things,
on?
Yeah.
besides lube, because we're like lube advocates,
Well, he's
right?
like yelling at me. You didn't tell me he's gonna make me completely go dumb. I was laughing. I'm like, because you used too much. You should have read the box. I told you to read the box.
Right.
And then
So
your
just
night's over.
Ease
right?
into those applications.
Night's over.
Just
on
laughing.
sensitizers or desensitizers.
Yeah.
Take it a little bit at a time. And then we talked a little bit about anal ease working great for teeth, but we also heard of people using it before they get microbladed.
Mm-hmm.
Now, we've heard of this. This is one that we're just going to throw out there because we've heard of it.
Is this
Not
a new
a
one?
personal recommendation
It's
that
a
you
new
guys
one?
are
Yeah.
sugar, and there's just things that you're really not wanting into your open skin, but
Yeah.
we've heard of the being numb in your eyebrows before
Yeah.
getting it microbladed.
Yep. And then we actually have this product.
Yes, that you should be the one to talk about
I'm
this
going
one.
to talk about this one because I use it as well for other things. So Southern Butter, a great company, makes a balm called Backdoor Balm. It is vegetarian friendly, not vegan friendly because it is beeswax based. However, it is designed for anal aftercare to soothe membrane tears, like help moisturize, everything like that. However, it is perfect if you're bruised. For our folks out there that are stretching their ears like myself, you can actually use that on stretching your ears to help heal the process, and so they're not so irritated or
Really?
anything
That's
like
nice.
that. It's an amazing thing. Like I have one in my purse at all times and one at home
And what's
just
the
for
name
my
of it?
ears. It's called Backdoor Balm by Southern Butter.
I
Backdoor
actually
Bomb by
fell out of the
Southern Butter. I love all
window
these
here,
names.
broke my tailbone. I had extensive, crazy bruising. And this is actually one of the things that I also used it for the bruising on my bottom, not the rear end,
Yeah.
but on my bottom, and it helped immensely because of how it helps with.
It's all
the-
organic ingredients. Another thing, we've actually had CNAs and nurses come in and purchase it.
For geriatric patients.
Yeah, so like to
that are
help
bedbound.
bed sores. And
Oh, that's
like,
nice.
You could even use
It actually
it
helps, huh?
because it's completely organic. You can use it for diaper rash as well.
And you said bed sores?
Mm-hmm. Bed sores.
Yeah, and
My dad
also
had a bed
when you're
sore for about-
bedridden, oftentimes you start to get like phantom itches. So when they're itching, this helps
Breaks the skin and stuff
circulate the blood too because of the ingredients in it. So it's helping with reducing those kind of
Nice.
things.
And finishing up, what's your favorite thing on here on this
My
list?
favorite thing on this list.
That we
This
talked
one or
about?
the previous one?
This one. We talked about today.
Oh, pollinating for the bees.
Oh,
Save
yeah,
the
that's
bees.
good.
I
Save the
have to
bees.
agree with Julie
I like
on that
that
one.
one.
That's
Yeah.
something I didn't know, and I think that is absolutely hilarious
Yeah.
and genius.
It is.
You
right?
just you imagine the little.
Going outside, little old ladies like with a wand.
We have a.
Filming
What'd
that.
she do?
That'd be fun to film.
Pollinated the flowers.
Yeah.
Toy
That'd be
that one
I don't
with
think you're
the
using
blue
that
says
correctly.
Mother effer on it, and you're
like the
you've
Dutch
got
flowers.
your little lady
Yep.
neighbor next door, and she's
Yeah.
outside with it.
You see
I
someone
bought
saying,
this for my flowers.
Yeah. I don't think you're using that correctly. They'll be like, no, I am. I watch this podcast
Yeah.
and they talked all about it. It's funny. Well, you don't watch podcasts.
I'll lose it.
You
if
definitely
somebody
saw
do
it,
that. I'm
yeah.
sorry, I'll lose it.
Oh my gosh! Please, let's make that
I'll
a
call
thing.
you.
That like every neighbor ever has their pollinating vibrator too.
There you go. Well, thank you guys for being on the show and sharing
Thank you
sexy
so
tips
much.
number 2. We'll be back next week,
Surprise
Thursday at
episode.
5 o'clock. We'll let you know what that is soon, as Julie emails me.
Probably
Wednesday.
probably
Tuesday night.
Wednesday.
But then I don't do it until Thursday if that happens. I'm like, oh crap, I gotta do it. But whatever, we have a great show anyway. So thank you guys for watching and listening to the show. Last Call Entertainment Podcast will be live here, probably in Sugar House at 5 o'clock next Thursday. See you guys. Thank you.